Light it up, tune it in, pass that laugh, let it spin. Yeah, every Friday, same old crew. Turn it up, it's Blaze Weekly News. Hey, mic check, ashtray full, notes on the table, coffee gone cold. Three friends leaning in, talking that talk. Headlines hitting like a sidewalk chalk. They got jokes on the state of the day. Truth in the smoke when they drift off the way. Politics, gossip, wild reviews, all roll tight in the Blaze Weekly News. Blaze Weekly News, we talk it out, not so loud. Shake the house from the big boy blues to the wild and rude. Come get lit on the Blaze Weekly News. Blaze Weekly News, that's right to you. Turn it on, break your rules. If you need that smoke,
all right, welcome to Blaze Weekly News, podcast 266 of the podcast. We were off last week. Hello, Rachel. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. We took off last week for the beverage convention. The beverage expo was in town, and that was last Thursday. So we decided to take the podcast week off. And that was a lot of fun. It came back with a whole bunch of different beverages on the studio here this week, and a lot of activity there with that. Lucky Leaf Expo is going on in Dallas this weekend. I don't know if I'm going to make that or not. I'm hoping I will. But the Lucky Leaf Expo in Dallas this weekend, and then we Thursday last week was the Hemp Beverage Expo. Joining us this week in the program, we're going to have a panel, an online panel that we'll talk with our founders of C.R.A.F.T, Chasity and Rhiannon, joining us, along with Nick Mortillaro will be with us, as well as David C.R.A.F.T joining us to talk a little policy here in the Lone Star State. Rachel, this week. You ready to get this thing going?
Yes, let's do it.
All right. Well, this week on the program, we're going to do episode 266. And bring in, I guess, if you're ready, Carl, are you ready to bring in our panel here? We'll bring in the girls and say hi to David. I think David's driving to a meeting, but we can still hear him. Nick, hi, how are you, sir?
I am excellent, Russell. Really excited about this. I'm actually speaking at that Lucky Leaf conference on Sunday, so you should come.
Very cool. Yeah, I spoke to Chad on the phone earlier, the director of the Lucky Leaf Expo. I've known Chad for many years. I've been to 4 of these as an attendee and a booth as well. So there's very few of these. There's never one in Texas that I haven't been to. So I may find a way to just sneak out of Austin and come up there to Dallas and hang out with all of you this Saturday. But also joining us, of course, the girls from C.R.A.F.T and David C.R.A.F.T. Say hi, Chasity, Rhiannon. You've been wanting to get on here. Chastity's been on the show as a running member for what was it, Congress,
Congress,
right? Rhiannon, how are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm glad to be home. Chasity and I have been on the road a lot, traveling and doing a lot of things. So
I've been seeing you guys on Instagram. It looks like y'all are squeezing in some fun too. So
yeah,
that's good.
And David C.R.A.F.T on the road with a phone call list. It kind of chiming in with the audio. But that's fine. David C.R.A.F.T, how are you, sir?
I am doing great, and I'm beginning to think I should head up to Dallas this weekend.
Yeah, you're just
something I wouldn't want to miss.
You might as well stay there if you're headed up there tonight, aren't you?
I'm kind of thinking about it.
Yeah, I was able to go to. I was able to get to that beverage expo over the last week on Thursday, so we didn't do a show. We kind of took off and played hooky and hung out down there with the beverage industry, and we got a lot of beverages. Carl, let me know whenever we want to run that little video of that. We don't have to do it this minute, Carl, but we can do it when we come back from commercial break in a little bit. New beverages that we picked up. It's always great when you go to the beverage convention or a flower convention, Rachel. You come back with plenty of things to taste and try.
Yes,
so
the freebies.
The freebies are a good thing, and that's something we're happy to always about. But anyway, before we jump to the panel, I guess we can really get into here with. I picked up one of the printouts that I got from my email from the Texas Hemp Reporter today. David Sergi's office, the United States Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit, IHC Investments, a Delaware corporation. I don't know if this was, I guess this was the petition I saw today for a review of the final agency action. This was regarding the DEA case, David. Can you touch on that? And then maybe we could talk a little bit about what's going on with everything here in Texas. And we'll get you back to your driving there. But I did see the email come in late in the day today after you and I spoke this afternoon.
So, this is part of a
speak to maybe yes.
Sure. So this is part of a coordinated strategy put together by Americans for Healthy Alternatives, J.D. McCormick, and the crew that has sort of reassembled, and I think we now have a very clear direction. What we're doing is, number one, as many of you will know, HHC is an important ingredient in many gummies and a lot of the products that we, our customers and our clients provide to the public. And when the DEA unilaterally, without any public comment, decided it was now a Schedule I controlled substance, went ahead and funded 2 lawsuits to challenge the administrative action, as well as an action in the DEA itself asking for public comment and to reverse it. We filed in the 4th Circuit and the 9th Circuit. There's really good binding precedent that the DEA action really should be disregarded. Both those, we just filed a response to the DEA's, what I would call cookie cutter response. And I find this hilarious. We filed a response in the 4th Circuit to their petition, to their response. They cookie cutted what they did in the 4th Circuit, forgot to change the names of the plaintiffs in the 9th Circuit. And so they just totally screwed it up. And on top of it, the things they say just really don't make a lot of sense. And we've got what I would call one of the ultimate dream teams working on this. People that most of you guys probably don't know. We have Bob Hoban, who is in Colorado and has argued at the Supreme Court and won an important hemp case there. We've got Troutman out of Kentucky, who's an absolute genius lawyer who works with both the vape and the hemp industry. Not going to comment on myself, but I think we're pretty good. And we've just got a great team put together to litigate this, and so far I think it's shown. And then on top of it, we're working with AHA to put together a lawsuit to challenge the McConnell Amendment, which would essentially wipe out our industry.
Right.
And I think, as many of you know, and I know that the listservs were full of it yesterday, Russell Boyd from the Office of Management and Budget in the War Powers request for the defense spending had a whole paragraph about how they wanted regulation of hemp and not elimination of hemp. And there are some people we can thank for that. My understanding is that our good friends at Haifa and Brett Worley did a fantastic job of getting that over the line. And so all of the various groups are working together, and I think it's beginning to show. We have a strategy moving forward to where I think, number one, we're looking at, on a national level, defeating the McConnell Amendment and reversing it. And then number two, dealing with the issues we have here in Texas. And, go ahead.
Yeah. No, just there's a battle. There's a war going on, but there's battles in different locations, and we're kind of dealing with, you're talking there with the HHC filing. We've got filings coming to amend the McConnell amendment, as you stated. Texas, where the state appealed that whole case, so that's kind of now. I was going to have you maybe give us a tad update on that. And we can go to the panel and share with them, of course, after you go on the second break here. But a lot of questions and a lot of moving parts. Then, David, of course, I believe next week the federal hearing for Cannabis Schedule 3 begins, or is that maybe even tomorrow? Or starts? Yep. I think that started today or tomorrow.
I believe the 23rd. So a lot. I will say one thing. On the good news side of things, we also won a huge victory in South Carolina. Hemp is still in business in South Carolina, despite a tremendous push by the conservatives and probably their next governor, who is the one who is prosecuting several cases against hemp farmers and distributors. So huge win in the South Carolina legislature. Again, this is J.D. McCormick and Americans for Healthy Alternatives adopted a brilliant strategy. I've never seen people as organized as South Carolina AHA. When we were there, they had a table at the restaurant where all of the politicos go right when you walk in the door, so that their members could literally buttonhole any member of the legislature that walked through and talk to them about hemp. And ultimately, a guy named Zach Sarens, who's one of their main leaders, was able to report that they had a victory yesterday. Now in Texas.
We're losing.
David, you cut out there, but I'll jump in quickly to underscore what David's saying. J.D. McCormick, AHA, especially the South Carolina group, actually came to the Hemp Beverage Expo and they hosted a fundraiser for THBC. And I just want to underline how that shows these two organizations in very, very different states coming together to coordinate on the same good policy for hemp farmers, for veterans, and for the employees of this great industry. And so it's really, really cool to see J.D. McCormick there, to shake hands with Cynthia Cabrera, and for them to really present a united front. Because as we battle all these different battles in all these different states, it's really, really by working together, shared lessons, coordinating with each other, that we begin to develop a playbook across all the different states and federally to have really, really smart policy and united front.
During David's final comments there just a moment ago, and I hope David is still with us, I did want to shout out Wyatt LaRue made a comment that the Ohio, what was that? Did Ohio, was that a victory, Wyatt? Or he was referring to Wes, our colleague over at 420.
That was a federal case.
Was that about that one? I wasn't following that case particularly.
So his buddy with Titan Logistics Group and 9 other hemp companies, they challenged the state's new law in federal court. So they got the merit to get the temporary block, and so I think it's looking good for them over there. So got the TRO, and that's an interesting case as well in federal.
I hope this is a good omen for Texas. I know our friend Rod Kite, who has the Kite on Cannabis blog in South Carolina, North Carolina. Oh, really? I thought he was in South Carolina.
No, North Carolina.
Well, anyways, I just hope that it's a good omen for Texas that we get to follow. I want some good news for the Lone Star State too.
We do.
Yeah, there's a lot of flames to put out. David, are you still there? We may have lost David Sergi, but that's all right. He was only going to chime in for a little bit. And thank you, Nick, for picking that up. Yeah, a good sense of synergy there. I saw you briefly when I was exiting in the parking garage, Nick. You caught me there and gave you some magazines, laid some Blaze magazines on you as we were leaving. What was your take on the expo? It was good to see, clearly not as big as the Champs event in Austin there, Nick, but very positive to see the hemp beverage industry, coming out in big numbers, I'd only got to see about half the show from 1 to 5 p.m. that I was there. I got to see about half of it. So I just thought I'd get your take since I ran into you last Thursday. We took the week off to go down there to the Beverage Expo.
I thought it was a great show, far more focused than Champs, right? Champs is a big show. It's the largest, especially the one in Vegas. But in recent years, you've seen a lot of these kind of alternate cannabinoid or kratom companies, or just kind of alternate adult products that I say, is great if that's what you carry, but it kind of dilutes the show, right? And you might have 1,000 booths, but only a segment of which, a hemp operator might be interested in, versus this, which was all beverage. So it was a very focused show. it really highlights just how competitive the Texas hemp beverage market is. And it's only getting more so. There's lots of beverage companies out there. There's a lot of good beverage companies. Few national brands, a few that you're seeing all over the country. But in particular, I'm proud of a lot of our Texas-based companies that are really showing up, that are beginning to get, followings that are incredibly high quality. We've got a very competitive market here in Texas, especially for beverages, as a lot of people see that as a safe category with everything going on at both the state and federal level. So a lot of players are getting into it, and I just love it because it breeds great competition. It breeds really high quality brands. So if you want to, stay in this market and give your brand a name, you've got to be there. You've got to be competitive. You've got to be high quality. You've got to have fantastic ingredients, and give the consumers what they're looking for.
Well, we took off of the podcast last week just to go down there, and it was important for me to be down there because we're starting our beverage challenge here. Basically in July, we're onboarding beverages for the upcoming beverage challenge, one of which you placed very highly last year, Nick, with your coffee. Congratulations again for you on that. We were down there and making, just kind of hanging out with businesses and getting to talk to brands. And I'll be darned if we didn't have an interesting conversation with the Rick Ross beverage group is down there. So I don't know if Carl, maybe you can share some of those graphics, but we are working on the beverage challenge and no, they were on the graphics were in the studio, but yeah, we have a challenge that we're starting, and that was why the whole reason I went down there. And so we took the week off of the show last week, and we got to meet with the team that has the Rick Ross brand, and that's South Beach Brands. And there's another graphic in there next to that one that you can share. But we thought it was important to go down there, find some brands that were willing to work with us. And we struck up a really great conversation with South Beach, and we're going to have Rick Ross on the program here, the rapper Rick Ross, in about 2 weeks. So this was all exciting. But look, this is why you take off your podcast on a Thursday and you go down to the beverage challenge, Nick. You go down there and you network and you meet people. So it was really good fun running into you and just meeting and seeing the industry there. Rihanna, Chasity, you were both there. I saw you girls hanging out with Cynthia Cabrera and that whole crew. What did you think of the expo last Thursday? We were all there.
Yeah, it was fun. There were a lot of people. There were a lot of drinks. There was a lot of testing going on. But it was fun.
That's important. The product testing, somebody's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it.
I'm hoping I get to be a judge again, Russell. I don't know. You haven't asked.
Well, but a lot of you will be, I think, and we may add a new judge or two in here. But no, I had to sample Rihanna or Chasity or Nick. Y'all were all three there. I first got there and I was like, they fortunately, thank God, a lot of these beverages, they had their flavors they had virgin ones.
Okay.
So, because if I had started drinking those
from
1 o'clock to 5 o'clock, I would have been crawling.
I think I had
there, Nick, when you see me.
I had like a total of 5 milligrams, and that got to me. And it was like in all little tasters. It's amazing, different people's tolerance, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. Some people can just slurp down 100 milligrams and not even be like, oh, I need another one. It is crazy.
There's one on the spinner. There's one on the spinner here that's 125 milligrams. We have 5 milligrams. There's like a whole different bunch of these. But South Beach, Rick Ross, Sunshine Sweet Tea, the Orange Orchard is one of them here. We met with the Wink team, San Lucas. There's a number of these up here. We see that the guys from the Cheech and Chong beverages gave us about a case of them since I left them the Tommy Chong cover magazine.
Oh, nice.
They were nice enough to give us plenty of these. But this is very cool. There's some of these are going around the spinner. We got way more than we can fit on the spinner from the beverage. Nick saw me coming out of there with about 3 cases and putting them in my truck last week at the beverage expo here in downtown Austin. So we just wanted to share some of this and address that, as that was a big national event. And I guess that travels around, Nick, in other cities as they do that. It was good to good to have them, come through here. We were aware of it, and it was good to run into everybody, as you say, and see the synergy there, Nick.
Yeah, the Hemp Beverage Alliance, I believe, is the organization that puts that on. They've been hosting those for well over a year now. I don't know if it was the first one in Austin, but it's the first one I've been to. I'm pretty sure it's the first one. And so it really shows just how much Texas is really getting on the map. Obviously not Austin just for Austin, but for nationwide. And you've got a lot of really high quality brands coming out of Texas and going national as well.
Yeah, Hemp Beverage Expo last week. I didn't know if that was the first one. I had, I know we had Carrie Hinkle on from the Roundtable before, but we had Chris on from the Hemp Beverage side. Chris, I think it was Chris Lackner. I think Chris is with that group. I tried to reach out to Chris to get him to come on today earlier in the week, but anyway, let's turn. Maybe we'll do a quick commercial break, girls, and then we'll come back and talk with C.R.A.F.T about their organization and their services. And Nick, you've kind of been supportive of them. You've been working closely with the Hemp Business Council. So let's do a commercial break real quick here, and then we'll come right back and continue this panel discussion. Blaze Weekly News is podcast number 266, our 6th year of doing the podcast here on Blaze Magazine and Blaze Weekly News, formerly Texas Hemp Show, Texas Hemp Reporter. Check us out online at texashempreporter.com and blazenews.com. I'm Russell. She's Rachel. We'll be right back. Blaze Weekly News after this.
C.R.A.F.T. & Associates specialize in cannabis and hemp law cases here in Texas. Has your store been raided? Do you require municipal litigation? Seeking to trademark your brand? David C.R.A.F.T. is an international cannabis lawyer, and he represents businesses throughout the cannabis industry. C.R.A.F.T. represents clients across the United States and is regularly quoted on Cannabis Matters in the media. The new website from his team is txhemplaw.com. If you're new to the Texas market in hemp or cannabis industry, look no further than C.R.A.F.T. & Associates. Their legal team offers a broad range of legal practices, providing cost-effective, top-shelf legal representation with a big firm punch in a personal, small firm environment, specializing in hemp, criminal, business structure law, and civil litigation. Texas hemp laws are always evolving. Call C.R.A.F.T. & Associates at 512-392-5010. That's 512-392-5010. Or visit txhemplaw.com.
Hey, do we have any cold drinks? Something to help us relax would be amazing right now.
After the trail, crack a.
Hey, do we have any cold drinks? Something to help us relax would be amazing right now.
After the trail, crack a happy. Bursting with real fruit flavors and real chill. Bring extra. You might make a friend.
I found this happy drink, and so I drank it, and it was really refreshing. But the feel I got was fire.
Blaze Weekly News. Strap in, fuse lit, headlines hit like a wrecking fist. Hey! Light up, red light, spin the chaos, prime time. Every scandal, every fight, rip raw, double time. Last through the outrage, roast case, torch their crowd, steel tongue on a rampage. Turn your world upside down. Blaze Weekly News. We scream the truth and fuse by use. Light the fire, break the fuse. Blaze Weekly News.
All right, welcome back to Blaze Weekly News, podcast number 266 rolls on as we continue to talk with our panel. Thank you for those of you follower of the YouTube show or the Instagram channel. Give us a like, follow, or comment. If you're a part of this industry and you have a question or for the panel, leave us a comment below, and we'll try to get to your comment. Try to do a little more live streaming this year. We've always had the ability to do that, but it's only taken 5 years to have a little more confidence in what we're doing over here to maybe go live now and then. So we have been doing that a lot more. Welcome back again, Chasity Rhiannon from C.R.A.F.T. That's the Cannabis Regulatory Alignment and Framework and Training. Am I right? Chasity Rhiannon, tell us a little bit about C.R.A.F.T. And of course, Nick is joining us as well this week on the program. And just give us a little bit of what you girls have been traveling. We've been noticing your work on Instagram and social media and in and out of the WhatsApp groups that we all belong to. Just tell us a little bit about what goals you guys have going into this year and getting folks compliant. And it was great having a little conversation with you both, getting some feedback from y'all yesterday. So I thought we would continue that conversation here on the show this week. But tell us a little bit about C.R.A.F.T. here as we get into the summer of 2026, Rhiannon.
Well, I think that we're here because we love the industry, and I've been in the industry a long time. Chastity's been in it, and we have a passion for just progressing it and showcasing the best qualities of it. And that really is the people, the businesses, and the operators. So basically we have C.R.A.F.T. to help the workforce and, promote the cause. We have a lot of big tasks ahead of us with campaigning and standards initiatives and all sorts of stuff. But I'll let Chasity explain more about C.R.A.F.T.
Yeah, Chasity, the outreach coordinator for C.R.A.F.T. You and I had a great conversation. You called me and then brought in Rhiannon on the line there, and
it's Rhiannon actually.
Rhiannon,
like the Fleetwood Mac song.
Yeah, it's a soft day. It's Rhiannon. Yeah, but
go ahead, Chasity.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, Russell.
No, I'm just saying, maybe just to circumvent and talk about the education side of what you're doing. We have been seeing your streaming videos on social media in the last, few months. Texas, of course, coming off a big, victory with some of the ban bill language that we all kind of went through last year. We had you on the show last year in your campaign going into the fall. Last time we spoke with you here on Blaze Weekly News, but like we spoke with David earlier, a lot of battles in the war, I guess, in some ways here is to keep these hemp products legal. What is what's some of the main fires that you girls are trying to put out, here in Texas as far as educating, retailers and producers, manufacturers alike?
So C.R.A.F.T. is just like it says, Cannabis Regulatory Alignment Framework Training. So our goal here is compliance. Now, let's talk about that word compliance, because this was our conversation yesterday. Mm-hmm. I think when people hear the word compliance, they hear comply, right? And I actually ran on the Republican ticket for Congress. And so I am very much not a super complying person. I absolutely 100% understand. I think what compliance means to C.R.A.F.T. is, let's just say, I'm just going to break it down very easily. Let's say that Miss Adams, everybody knows who I'm talking about, who gave us lots and lots of trouble and made lots and lots of stories that were used against the hemp industry in Texas for the last legislation. And so let's just say that she has this story, right? And she says, my kid got this pin or whatever it was, gummy from somewhere. What we cannot do currently is we cannot prove that product came from an actual business in the hemp industry. We cannot prove that that product was a legitimate product as far as being able to track the chain of custody of that product to prove that it wasn't harmful in any way. And so with C.R.A.F.T, what we do is we attempt to help people self-implement into their businesses what we call standard operating procedures that are ASTM or ISO standards, which are international standards. So what a lot of people don't understand when we're saying standards is that they freak out a little bit. They kind of are like, I don't want to do more labeling. I don't want to do more this. I don't want to do more that. A lot of these things were already rules and laws that were written into the 1320. Is it 1325 bill?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Farm Bill is 1325 in Texas. These were already written into these things. These are standard operating procedures. They're just not things that have normally been. Nobody's ever actually been forced to adhere to them, and they're very small ones. A lot of people just don't realize that literally anything and everything that you do, every job that is worked, has standard operating procedures. They have certain amounts of compliance. Anybody that has like an OSHA poster in the bathroom at work, that's compliance. And that's all we're trying to do is help set a standard. And the goal of this is actually the long-term play in this, right? Is that we don't give anybody, any legislator, police, anybody, a reason for them to go after us. We are trying to prevent this industry from being harmed anymore. We're trying to prevent these stores from being raided. We're trying to prevent consumers from getting a hold of products that may be unsafe. As long everybody that's here understands that we have this term called gas station weed in this industry, and that generally means like this very low grade, don't know where it kind of came from, weird cannabis, if you want to call it that.
The hot dog water.
It's the hot dog water, yes. And so the goal here, those types of products are not products that anybody that is in this conversation wants in the industry. Could we all agree with that? I'm pretty sure that most everybody that's in this industry already doesn't want what we call gas station weed, right? And so the goal here is to get these bad products off of the shelves and to train your employees, train the anybody that's in the industry to be able to identify these, to be able to implement a chain of custody so that you can prove if somebody were to come to you and say, hey, my kid got hold of this or whatever it may be, that you can prove that you did your due diligence to ensure the safety of that product for that consumer. And it's a protection it's not just protection for consumers, it's protection for the industry. It's protection for these stores, for the manufacturers, for the brands, for everyone. It's to make sure that we are united together, doing the same exact thing, following the same exact rules. Imagine that like THVC, so THVC has lobbyists. Every trade organization has lobbyists, right? That's the big play here is everybody has a lobbyist. These lobbyists go in and they talk to Governor Abbott and they talk to the House members and the Senate members and whoever it is. So let's imagine that THVC says, hey, we have 8,500 members, which, I mean, they don't have 8,500 members, but let's say they had 8,500 members. And we can guarantee you that 95% of those 8,500 members are trained. Their employees are trained. They've implemented SOPs. Rhiannon.
We
Sorry.
got to train our canna canines.
Our canna canines need some CBD there, Nick. I don't know.
Our staff.
Sorry for that, Chasity.
I'm so sorry. I got confused. I was like, what is going on?
But yeah, anyway, we have quite the setup here with everything.
If THVC were to go in with a lobbyist and say, we have 8,500 members, 95% of those people have instituted training for every employee that works for them. They have standard operating procedures that are implemented inside their stores. They've done this and this and this and this and this, and we can prove it. And all we have to do is say, hey, look, here it all is. Imagine what that would look like and what kind of play we would be able to have, what kind of power we would be able to have in the legislature. Imagine.
So here's where it ties in. So Chastity is like giving the rundown of what C.R.A.F.T does, but we really have a platform here. We have a platform and we've developed it. We have a learning management system. So we have streamlined the hard stuff. We try to make it easy for you. So on this platform, it's actually an app, and your workers have to work through course material. They have to watch videos. They have to take quizzes in between, and they have to pass them. And it takes some work and it's some time. It's very comprehensive. The THC handler certificate is really comprehensive. And then they get a certificate at the end. And those are receipts. Those are where you can show the officials and the legislators, hey, we did our due diligence. We have the receipts. We have certificates. And we have clients with C.R.A.F.T certified THC handlers up all over the place. And it's really exciting to see people doing that, because we have to show this. We have to show the force of everything. C.R.A.F.T, we also are getting into the hospitality industry, because people don't realize all the things that go with the drink realm, like going to this beverage thing. We love milligrams, don't get us wrong, but when you're serving milligrams, people need to know what they're getting, and they have to understand these milligrams. So
your servers have to understand. Like there's
so a video for that too. And it's really, this is a really easy system. We try to streamline it and make it easy so that, we get you set up, get you going so that you feel secure. We set up your team, your compliance binders, all the things. This is, about 20 years in the making between us. I say a decade. So it's really exciting to help.
And the website again is joincraft.org to learn about the services that the girls offer in keeping your business compliant. I want to jump and bring Nick in on the conversation, because we've had Nick on the program, and I'll let Rachel fire a few off for you guys here after this question for Nick. But I just wanted to bring Nick in because we've had Nick on the show before. He runs, of course, Botanic Bliss down there on Guadalupe and 17th Street, I believe. And then he's also part of Vice Vending and Vice Distro. And Nick, you had an extraordinary piece of technology in your store last year. You've ran ads for it in the magazines with us, but you have an ID verification. What do you call it?
Kiosk thing.
That's
It's
exactly
a kiosk.
right.
You can get your CBD products. You can get flour. You can get your beverages right there in Nick's store, and it's all compliant. And I wanted to bring that into because with having C.R.A.F.T on with you this week and Sergi, it's really about having accountability for the industry and making sure that we are keeping these products legal and having the accountability to do it and self-regulate. Can you speak to that, Nick? Because you have
Absolutely.
you offer those products in the vending stations yourself. You have them in your store, and I wanted to bring you in on the importance of the conversation of self-regulation and why this is important.
C.R.A.F.T is all about self-regulation and ensuring we are living up to the standards that we know as an industry we need to hold ourselves to. Otherwise, the government is going to step in, and the worst elements, Dan Patrick in particular, are going to regulate the industry for us. And they're not going to do so nicely or in a way that is common sense or based on the facts. So C.R.A.F.T is all about regulating, educating your team, educating your staff. And the number one thing is age verification. That is what they get us on every time. The Texas legislature purposefully, I believe, did not pass age verification rules when they had the opportunity to, just so they could use it against us. And people have to remember that. Right now in Texas, or only after the executive order, but previous to Governor Abbott's executive order, age verification was not mandatory. And they use that on purpose to say, hey, look, they're selling to kids. No responsible operator in this state is selling to kids. All of the responsible operators I know are age gating. And that's why we came up with the smart kiosk. You're exactly right.
Yes.
Our machine actually performs to ISO 27655, which is a federal age verification standard. it includes not only scanning the ID, but facial matching to ensure that if a child were to get their parents' license, let's say, that's a real license, right? It would scan, it would register, but they must match their face up with that license. And the machine facial matching has come a huge way recently in the past year, where this is essentially like your iPhone. It knows it's you, whether you shave your head or dye your eyebrows pink or grow a beard. It can tell the difference between me and my brother, and we look very, very similar. The technology is there to responsibly regulate this industry. And our lawmakers need to know and need to see that the industry is taking the steps to regulate ourselves and show that we can be responsible operators. So they can't come back and say, oh, it's the Wild West. They're selling to kids. They're doing this and they're doing that. When we can demonstrate through C.R.A.F.T membership, through these training modules, through SOPs, that it's not possible. The smart kiosks are not able to complete a transaction without age verification. Doesn't matter if your birthday is tomorrow or, hey, mister, can you let it slide? Or it's your cousin. The machines are meant to be kind of that gold standard that cannot be tricked, cannot be duped. It will not accept a fake ID. So we can show regulators like, look, we have the technology to do this responsibly and to do this smartly. And if you proceed with something like a ban or stringent regulations, you're doing it knowing that we have the tools to do this responsibly, and you're just looking for prohibition. Don't say it's about the kids, because we can responsibly keep this away from kids.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. One of the things I love about C.R.A.F.T is it's a very it's really a reputation management tool for the industry, because
Exactly.
Chasity was saying, yeah, like Chasity was saying, we have people like Aubrey Adams, for example, or like the Allen Police Chief Steve Dye, who came to the Capitol last session, and they just spilled these tall tales, and now with C.R.A.F.T, it's very needed because it's a tangible way to show receipts. So they say no, we are, we're managing this responsibly. And, the other day it really kind of dawned on me, we're about 6 months away from the legislative session. Yes. And that's crazy, because it feels like we just had it. But what is C.R.A.F.T? What are you guys seeing your role being in the legislative session? Are you going to be at the Capitol and lobbying as well? Okay.
Absolutely.
So
I see the biggest part of the biggest part of C.R.A.F.T though is helping the regulators implement the systems, right? Mm-hmm. And be able to document, quality products, show that chain of custody, have recall practices, be able to know what the consumers are getting, and be able to safeguard everything. And we streamline that and make it simple. We can, help on the back end with other people's technology systems too, to help them, just do the whole chain of custody, understand batch numbers, recalls, all the things. It's time. It's time that we really, can show everybody that we're doing it right.
And
I think that
more practice,
the Chasity, and I can let you jump back in on there, but I think that is with the lawmakers, to Rachel's point, we're not just trying to stand up to some of the negative guys in leadership, senior leadership, like Dan Patrick, Nick, but it's also showing, the middle of the road lawmaker that's educated themselves maybe somewhat in the last session or two, that, hey, industry members are self-regulating. We need your help by, implementing, positive rulemaking and giving some leeway to the industry members, Nick. And I think that's a very important part of what the vending side that you're involved in, Nick, and what C.R.A.F.T and THBC and other trade organizations are trying to do is to work with lawmakers and just let's regulate this $1 billion industry here in the Lone Star and lead this thing all the way down the home stretch, Nick.
Absolutely. And the other side of it, of course, there's a retail side of it, which is, bud tender training, responsible retailers, age gating. But the other is C.R.A.F.T is really a compliance system that helps implement responsible distribution of quality, safe products to those retailers. So for distributors, for wholesalers, for product brands, there's a craft module for them as well. So they know how to perform a recall, how to make sure to check their retailer's certification, hemp retail registration. All of these things, it's really a comprehensive model from seed to sale to show a continued chain of custody, chain of responsibility, so that the customer feels safe, when they're getting a product. They know it came from not only a compliant retailer and a compliant distributor, but a compliant manufacturer from the very beginning.
Yeah, it's the whole network. That's why they say seed to sale for sure.
Stay right there, guys. We're going to take our second commercial break. We'll come back and wrap things up in our final 12-minute segment after this. If you've got a comment or question, leave it below. Give us a like, a follow, or a thumbs up there on social media, there, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I'm Russell. She's Rachel. We'll be right back. We're going to continue the conversation talking about policy, not just in Texas, but around the nation, and see where things go. How's this Schedule 3 thing going to end up, Rachel? I mean, we're going to be talking, that's the federal side. A lot of moving parts in the war for the plant. And, of course, we're talking hemp here a lot in the Lone Star State. And but we'll be right back. More after this. Podcast 266 rolls on. Blaze Weekly News.
Long string guitar in hand. Is she gonna stick it to the man? Yeah, she gonna stick it to the man. Roll with a buddy, go buddy. Roll with a buddy, go buddy. First time in, now you steady. 1 for 1, that's a fact. Buddy, same deal, double that. Side by side, come score more. Go buddies at the Pure Life store.
Pure Life knows good vibes are better with good friends. So bring your friend who's a first timer to any Pure Life location and you can become
Go buddies at the Pure Life store.
Pure Life. Bet you can't bring a buddy to score weed without smiling.
At Happy THC Beverages, we're on a mission to bring plant medicine to the people. Accessible, functional, and undeniably delicious. Built for balance, our beverages blend bold flavor with feel-good ingredients that support your body, mind, and mood. Competing in the Texas THC Challenge this year. You'll want to try our happy flavors like Sublime, Grateful Grape, Cherry, and Groovy Grapefruit. Our fast-acting THC and CBD blends for a perfect balance with no alcohol, no hangover, and no regrets. THC and mushroom beverages that hit just right. Plant-powered happiness in every sip for a full-body feel-good. Happy THC. All natural, wellness-focused ingredients. Flavor-first experience in every sip. Now available in Texas. Visit us online at drinkhappy.com. That's drink, HAPPIE.com. Feel good about feeling good. drinkhappy.com.
In this whole world, you know, there are millions of boys and girls in this whole world, there are millions of boys and girls in this.
All right, welcome back to Blaze Weekly News, podcast 266, as we return from commercial break there. And I want to, we had the Beverage Expo was in town last Thursday, so we took the week off for the show, but we went down there to network and mingle and try to find some beverages for our upcoming challenge. We do the annual beverage challenge every, usually around September, October, kicking it off a little earlier this year just because we're concerned about the ban that's coming in November 12th, and hopefully to get that all figured out. But shout out to South Beach Beverage. We talked to those guys down there, and you can show that up there for folks looking at maybe doing a beverage challenge. Our legacy sponsor for the beverage challenge is South Beach Brands, and that's Rick Ross's beverage. And so we're taking submissions this year in the magazine for regular brands. If you've got a lemonade, you got a tea or a tonic or a coffee like Nick did last year, you can submit your brand. You just run a display ad with the magazine to promote the brand, and we get you registered with our judges. And winners will be announced late September, right in time for the Champs Trade Show in Austin, Texas, coming up. So that'll be our THC challenges. We're doing the flower one and the beverage one here coming up in August. So if you're interested in being a judge, email Rachel. No, I'm just kidding. If Rachel wants to be a judge again, so does Stone Slade. But you can email us and ask or inquire about these challenges and judging for them as well. blazed@blazenews.com is my email. Just give me a holler. I'm Russell. All right, back to the show. I hope we still have Nick. I don't know. Nick,
I am. I'm right here.
You are there. Your battery was running low. You were telling me during the break there, but
I'm still here. And do it, guys. That beverage challenge is fun. Seriously, last time it was a really, really good time. It was great to have all the judges. The team was excited. It's a grand time. So seriously, do it. Sign up.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, Nick, because it was really cool. Nick got the highest score of all the scores, and he had the coffee. It wasn't even like it was a tonic. Did you get first place, Nick, or second place? I don't remember which one it was.
It was first by total score. And I will say all credit to the other amazing brands. At our shop, we're able to do custom drinks. So in terms of the taste profile, if you like it sweeter, if you like it less, if you want your matcha with coconut rather than strawberry, we can really customize those drinks, which I believe probably gave us a little bit of an edge and why the judges rated their drinks so highly.
And also, Nick, you were the only category of coffee category too. So there was no one going up against Nick on the coffee category. But truthful, I didn't really think about it. When you go down there and get your coffee at Lazy Days with Nick and his crew, they can make it as sweet or not as unsweet or sweet or whatever you want in there. So thanks for the shout out on that. And we appreciate your support in the past, Nick, as always. Drop us a line if you're interested in that beverage challenge. Rachel, anything for the girls?
Yeah.
As we got about 8 minutes left on the show, I wanted to let you maybe go or ask them anything on regulatory policy or where they think things are going as we get kind of into the summer here with regulatory policy, and they've been traveling. I've been seeing them all over social media.
I know. I've been having FOMO lately. Really what I'm kind of curious about is just what the craft experience is like. Like, what is the user experience like within your tech? That really interests me. I would love to see some screenshots. Like, is it really easy to, navigate, and what's kind of some of the feedback you've heard on that?
I think the feedback's been great. We have a community. It's an app, so you actually download the app and you take your course in the app, and you have to work through it. There's prerequisites and those, so you can't pass go until you actually complete the actual module and do the work. So it's definitely a cool experience. And then you get a certificate at the end. And then we also have what's called the craft circle. And we also have like an extraction community. So we have a lot of things growing and building, and there's no restraints on it. Where on Facebook and Instagram, you can't do weird things, like smoke or post stuff. But it's definitely a cool little resource, and we're growing it, and we want people to utilize it even more.
So people can actually network with each other within the craft app. Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. That's a good.
You can even teach courses.
Yeah.
Like if you have, like, we have Glenn in real life. Do you know who Glenn is? Everybody knows who Glenn is, I think.
Yeah, I do.
Glenn has a course that he's putting together on the like vaporizers and stuff. And so anybody can have a course if whatever your passion is about cannabis. You could put a course in craft and teach everybody about your niche, your favorite niche, which is really cool in the craft circle. You can like reach out to people. Like if you had a question for an attorney, we have some attorneys that are in there. We have some growers that are in there, manufacturers, brands that are in there. So you could just ask, random questions. You could get referrals in there. So yeah, it's really cool.
And are you guys just exclusive to Texas, or are there other states that come into craft?
Well, we're fixing to travel to Puerto Rico. Okay. We're looking at Well, there's a few other states that we're looking at.
Minnesota, Virginia. There's a lot of other states that actually just require workforce training anyways. And so C.R.A.F.T can come in as a third-party vendor and basically put the system, to work, because it's the same across everywhere. I mean, there's might be some little different tweaks and nuances in each state, but really it comes down to the same plant and the cannabinoids and milligrams and best practices and safety mechanisms and recalls and batches. It's, we just try to streamline it and make it fun too. Chastity's much better on video than I am.
Well, I was talking to you yesterday about that. Why not have other states under the C.R.A.F.T umbrella? It doesn't have to be just in Texas, and maybe you girls will have some success, expanding that beyond. I will say I was on the website yesterday, and the information, I don't know which of you who's the web guru over there, but you've added a ton of things on there since the last time I was on there. Maybe last January or December, but there's a lot more going on. There's a lot more resources in there. So go in there and check it out, joincraft.org. If you've got a comment, we got a few minutes left, or a question, fire it off on the comments below. Maybe the girls will answer a question you might have. But where do you see things going, Rachel or Nick? Are you still there, Nick?
I am indeed.
Okay.
I'll give a quick rundown of everything that is going on. Federally, we had huge news yesterday as the Office of Management and Budget from the White House openly requested from our Congress to either delay or entirely repeal the federal hemp ban that is coming November 12th. So that is the first time, not by tweet, not by Truth Social, but it is in the official request from the White House budget to save hemp, either give Congress more time, another year, to figure out proper regulations, or do an amendment like Andy Barr has introduced to not totally ban this amazing industry. On top of that, we've got those hearings next week on rescheduling to Schedule 3. And then in Texas, we have heard back from the state. It seems that they are increasing the licensing fees again and may actually start enforcing the regulations now that the injunction has been lifted. So there is a lot going on. Do not wait until the next legislative session. We've got a hearing July 7th at the Capitol, where we are hearing from invited witnesses only to the Senate committee about some of the negative impacts of THC. And so it's really, really important that our advocates get out there, that we show face, that we outnumber them. Even if you're not invited to speak testimony, you can submit written testimony. So that is a super important date for everyone, July 7th.
Yeah, Nick, I talked with Sergi a little earlier today, and he was saying that in the federal case for the there was an article earlier in the week from Marijuana Moment that was asking if the judge was going to allow media present in the DEA hearing, which I understand they've denied, Nick. But also, more importantly, the only testimony they're really hearing is Dare and big alcohol. They're not hearing any advocacy for moving forward with Schedule 3. So it's kind of a deja vu of some of the SB3 testimony we heard with Charles Perry and in the Senate hearing or the House hearings even of last year. Does that kind of ring a bell, Nick?
Absolutely. And that's why it's that much more important that you hearing this right now, get involved, come out to the Capitol on July 7th, submit written testimony, which anyone can do, because we just need to beat them in numbers. An overwhelming show of support for hemp will push through their invited phony testimony of, I don't know where they find these people under rocks and such. that have the negatives, but we just need to totally overwhelm them with positive.
Yeah, stay positive, stay active, stay on their butts. That's about all the time I've got. I want to thank Chasity and Rhiannon for coming in. Fire off the website, girls. How can folks learn more about craft?
Joincraft.org.
Listen to that. That was an echo there, Nick. Joincraft.org. You heard
Look
it
for
right.
us on social media.
Check them
Chastity's
out.
very good at videos.
And yeah,
And if you see us, come and say hi.
Yeah, come and say hi. Are y'all gonna be? Where are y'all gonna be next, Chasity?
We're gonna be
in Dallas.
at Lucky Leaf. Yep.
Okay, so y'all will be at Lucky Leaf. Nick's gonna be speaking. What's your lecture on, Nick, this weekend in Dallas?
The chemistry of cannabinoids. Not all synthetics are created equal. Just really diving into some of the technical stuff behind HHC, THCA, THCP, the whole 9 yards, so that you can be informed and policymakers can make informed decisions, reactive ones.
Oh, very cool. Whoops. Hold on. Sorry.
No, look, sorry, we were in robot mode there. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. No, thanks, guys. Rachel, any final thoughts?
I don't know. We're gonna keep on keeping on.
I just wanted to say one thing real quick. Nick and Chassie and I, we're all part of a real cool team right now. We have a nonprofit we're getting off the ground called Green Shield Alliance, and we're doing it to unite the industry, pull everybody together.
Green Shield Alliance?
Yep. And it's like a think tank. I know people don't like saying think tank, but we want to push the industry in a positive direction and bring in all the other advocacy groups and everything. It's basically Switzerland. That's where we're at.
Where can we find it on the socials? What's the handle?
We're just getting it going, so stay tuned.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a work in progress, but Nick is part of it, and Chasity and I, and we're gonna get more people involved. We've already.
Rhiannon, can you tell us about the podcast that y'all do and the one that y'all have been telling me about coming in there on Monday?
That was with Chasity and Tovar. Yeah.
No. We're talking about office hours on Mondays. So on Mondays, we have office hours.
Oh, office hours. Okay, yes.
Anybody can join office hours. You just go to our website at joincraft.org and just click on office hours. There'll be a link there, and anybody can join in. It's usually about an hour long, and we usually will have just anybody can come in and ask any questions. We've had Cynthia on there. We've had Mark Wasserman from Pop Brothers at Law. We've had you never know who's going to pop in there. Somebody's going to pop in there, and you're going to have a really cool conversation.
Yeah, I'm going to pop in there myself sometime and say hi to all of you guys. Shout out Wyatt LaRue said something there. I saw him come across there. I can't make it. What is he saying there? Why sell fake cannabis?
Why sell fake cannabis when we have real ones?
There you go.
Real ones.
Well, good stuff. Great show, guys. Thank you, David Sergi. Thank you again to Nick, Chassie, and Rhiannon. Good show, guys, and we'll stay tuned. Coming soon in a couple of weeks ahead, Rick Ross will come on and talk about his beverage that he's signing up for with us. We mix things up in here. We talk policy. Sometimes we throw curveballs at you and get a little pop culture in there and have some fun, like Tommy Chong a couple weeks ago. Thanks. She's Rachel. I'm Russell. That's Carl. We'll see you guys next week. Blaze Weekly News.
Wow.